These are the pieces that make up my engine deck lid cover hinge. I have the main piece that bolts to the deck lid, 3/4 inch square, 3/4 inch round, bent to a radius, 1/2 inch 20 bolt welded to the end. I have a 1024 nut on there for a cover. The two nuts will hold the hinge to the deck lid. I made a piece of black ABS to fit between the hinge and the deck lid, and that gets fastened on underneath with a couple of 1024 screws that keep it located exactly in the same position every time, because when I put it together I have a cover that fits over the top of the hinge that goes on with one screw. So now everything will be perfectly lined up end to end, side to side, and it keeps it covered looking nice. The part that it actually hinges is this 1/2 inch rod end, spherical rod end. You can see I welded a piece of 1/4 inch to the bottom of it with a hole in it for the rod. And also on the end I machined a flatten here and put a piece of 1/8 inch on top of the bar, because you don't want the nut to come loose and have the unit swivel on that bolt, because it'll swivel there and it'll swivel on here, and then your whole deck lid will swing back and forth, and you can't have that. So I locked it with a piece of bar here, and then it will be put on with a nylock jam nut. Here's the hinge bolted down onto the deck lid. This is of course upside down so you can see it, and the ABS goes between the hinge and the deck lid, and I hold it down with 2 nuts, and then I can put the cover on and secure that with one number 1024 Phillips head screw, and when everything gets all painted up it'll look nice and neat and clean. Of course it'll be in that position when you open the deck lid. This is where the hole is cut in the back of the roof next to the window for the hinge to go through, and you can see you put it down in there and fit it in through the hole in the bottom of the rod end and bolt them up. And it was made so it would come apart, so you could just put it through there with a minimal hole in the deck lid. This is inside the roof where the rod end is hinged, and it's just a bolt welded off of the steel structure, and it comes down, and this will swing when the deck lid opens and closes. And I set it up so that when the deck lid is closed, this clears the upholstery panel that comes behind your head. If you ever have to access the hinge for service, you can take this interior panel off and get in there to take that bolt out, and then the one part of the hinge goes that way, and then you can take the nut off and remove that from inside without having to deal with the roof panel at all. Here's the hinge put in there. I'm not using a nylock yet because it's not done, but that's how it all bolts together, and the hinge moves this way. And you can see from up here, this is about where the hinge will be when the deck lid is closed, and it comes up to here, and it just comes in and out of the hole very nicely. Okay, here's how the hinges look with the deck lid in the open position. You can see they just go right through the hole in there, and here's the cover over the the hinge that hides all of the hardware, the bolts and all that kind of stuff. And I lined it up like right off the back of the deck lid here. And you do have to be careful about the side of this coming down, because it has to clear the inside of your quarter panel also. That gets a little tight, but then everything's tight on these cars. Now I'll take out my fabulous hood prop here. And this is how nice and smooth it goes up and down. And there's no shake, there's no rattle. Everything works nice and clean. Also up front here, you notice I've got clearance underneath the deck lid when it comes up over top of the roof panel. And you just position it and mark it and just grind it back until you have everything clear. There are my hinges. Okay, there's the deck lid in the closed position. Hinges down and aligned, and there's the whole thing.